Hello everyone, today is Wednesday, August 29th. It's 2:49 p.m. It's about an hour and 10 minutes before the regular session close. You can see my computer clock here, the date and time, and on my left is the time and sales for the E-mini S&P, which is currently trading at 29.13. So very strong U.S. stock market continuing its trend. A couple of announcements. The Autotrader for NinjaTrader 8 is coming along. We're making really good progress. I may even be able to make a video of the Autotrader 8 in action. So we'll look for that maybe tomorrow or the next day. So first up is the DAX on a Super 14 tick. And this drew down about $450 per contract with these two losers on the open. And that goes to show that the Autotrader can handle a few losers in a time frame like this, or any time frame really. And then came back with our classic back-to-back pattern, this time a short and then a long. And that, in spite of the deficit, actually brought it to its goal. So interesting conclusion on this chart and showing very well. Okay, next up is the crude oil on a 987 tick chart, and this looks like it had 4 trades, 2 winners and 2 losers, and did $12.90 for the day. The goal is $1300. Okay, next is the NASDAQ on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart, and it looks like we had a small drawdown and then a really nice winner, and we're currently long 2 contracts. We have a closed P&L of 875 and an open P&L of 180. Okay, next up is the DAX on a 150 tick line break, and there was 2 trades, good for 1462.50. We probably hit our goal of 1500 and had some slippage. Okay, next up is the DAX on a 233 Heikin-Ashi chart. With a smaller account, you could use a smaller chart like this. This did 1012 on 4 trades, 2 winners, 2 losers, and it did draw down about 550 per contract. Okay, next up is the NASDAQ on a 987 Heikin-Ashi chart, and this had looks like 4 or 5 trades, 2 winners, 3 losers here, small losers, and ended up with 985 for the day. Okay, next is the DAX on a Super 6 tick, and this drew down slightly here with a couple of losers here, and then back-to-back winning trades on these 2 swings, and that back-to-back pattern again brought us to 1012. Our goal on this is 1040, so we hit our goal and had slippage. So I have varying goal sizes on these, based on the size chart. This is somewhat of a smaller time frame for the DAX, but with a smaller account, you may go to a smaller time frame and have shorter swings and more control of your risk. Okay, next up is the crude oil on a Super 8 tick with our line break logic, and this did 940 for the day. I think the goal on this is 1000, as you can see here. Okay, so the crude oil on the Precision Renko 8 tick and the 8150 usually track pretty closely, but today is an example where they didn't. This only did $130, but the Super Renko 8 hit its goal. The other day, this one, this has showed really positive quite a bit, but for a couple of days, I didn't show the Super Renko 8 on the crude because I hadn't rolled over the contract month, so it didn't trade. So kind of coming back to that trade in progress on the NASDAQ, it looks like it's just beginning to push up above this swing high. If this can get some legs, it'll probably go a pretty great distance, or a pretty good distance, I would expect. Okay, another live position here. This is the E-mini S&P on a Super 4 tick, and we had a nice winning trade here, and then it's currently long from 29.13. So just a few ticks profit here. Here's our first target, but if this can at least come back up to this level and test the high, it'll probably come close to its goal, which is only 750. Okay, the Dow on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart looks like it had a single long position and did 835 on 2 contracts. That's pretty impressive for the Dow. This is quite a good move here. Looks like long from 26065 and covered here at 26164. So good for about 100 ticks on this move. Okay, here's the ES on a Super Renko 4 tick, and this is really close to its goal of, well, no, the goal here is 1050. I thought it was 750. So it's got a ways to go. This one has a higher time frame filter of Super Renko 6, and it is currently long. So again, if this can break above this level here, it'll probably go some distance. Okay, the NASDAQ on a 5-minute chart. Looking at this chart, I need to adjust my stops. It's a shame that I got prematurely stopped out when this was quite a large move. So let's just take a look at our stops and how we might get more out of this trade. Actually, what I did here is I have fixed targets. So what I should do is make this a runner by just setting that to 0. And then here I'm trailing by volatility stop at 50 ticks, and then at 100 ticks I'm trailing by 0 bars. This move went 75.80 to, well, 75.60. So just under 100 ticks, but still definitely I'm going to take this off and let it be a runner. Another thing to note on this chart is fantastic signal on the indicator going long after this consolidation and staying with this move for nearly 100 ticks in the NASDAQ. And I suspect it will go 100 ticks from this level. 75. It needs to go to 76.94. So maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, but actually it went well over 100 ticks. The NASDAQ is now 4 ticks to a point. So this move is almost 100 points. We're talking like 400 ticks. Okay, so here is a Super Renko 4 tick with no higher time frame filter. And this has a 750 goal and a limit order with a 1 tick pullback and fixed targets of 7 and 8 ticks. So it just touched this fill here. So you can see we don't get filled on a limit order just because it's touched, even in simulation. It has to trade through the price. And so you can see it finally got filled here. So it sat in the queue long enough and ultimately got filled. This is actually trading 3 contracts, hence the well, it's 7-8 ticks in a runner. So on this one, we're really only going for about 250 per contract. This chart's been pretty consistent, although a very modest gain today, a small drawdown here, about 100 per contract. Made an equity high of 500, and then we had a loser here, and so only finished out at 212.50 for the day. Okay, so this is a new time frame for the Autotrader, a 2587 Heikin-Ashi tick chart with a higher time frame of Super Renko 6. And so this is the first time I've plotted this chart, and so actually pretty good, about 40 ticks on the 2 contracts. It's got closed P&L of 450 and currently long. Trying the E-mini S&P trying to break out of this range here. So that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching today.